All right, welcome back. On this video, I want to talk about something that will become very instrumental in your path going forward, and that's your story. I can remember when I first started on my entrepreneurial journey, and people would say to me, so what's your story? Or are you able to tell your story yet? Or what does your story cover? What impact will your story have on someone else's life? I didn't know how to answer that. I just thought about it and I said, I'm kind of a introverted kind of person. I don't just like sharing, information with people. So there's only certain things I would probably tell anybody anyway. So, and maybe I would only tell those people that thing because I would be benefiting in some way. Other than that, I wouldn't care to tell you anything about me. Next question. But come to find out, that's not exactly what it means. Although, in a roundabout way, you are still telling things about yourself, which is good because sometimes, you need to get certain things out. Sometimes you need to kind of let people identify with why they're going through what they're going through, because we all share a common bond when it comes to that word called story. And that bond is we all have our own individual story. It's not like no one else's, but it is like someone else's. I know, crazy, right? Well, the reason I say that is because I can tell you my story, and you may say, well, that's kind of like me, but it's not really like me. But the person next to you may say, wow, I go through that same thing, or I've gone through that same thing, or I felt that same way. But it's never going to be the exact, because it shouldn't be. We're all unique in our own way. Everyone, I know that's kind of hard to believe that everyone is different, but we are all unique. We have our own DNA. We are individuals. But we think alike, a lot of us. But that's not as far-fetched as it sounds, because there are groups who think alike. There are, if you break it down to segments, there are people who do think like that. There are people who don't think like that. I can remember a time in my life when I was growing up where I would think to myself, I would do something and I would say, I wonder if other people do that same thing. Or I would hear a song and I would say, man, that really had an influence on me. I wonder if that had that same kind of impact on everybody. Until, I started actually thinking outside the box and watching how people react to certain things. Like, I would put a song on, or put a video or a movie or something on, and watch somebody's reaction, and they're not near as excited as I was, or they're way more excited than I was, right? So that let me know that that's not the way it works, and probably for good reason, right? A lot of things we learn along our journey. It's good that we question certain things, and sometimes we just take it for what it is, right? It is what it is. One of the things I want you to do right now is to kind of give me a like on the like button, or a share on the share button, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to work on saying that to you guys. I know you don't want to hear that. Wait a minute, you do? Okay, well, good. Go ahead and like, share, and comment, do whatever it is you do. But that's what I have to get used to doing, because starting in 2018, I'm going to be committed to making a whole lot more videos. And I want to make sure that that's on there, because, that's the way the ball bounces, right? And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you want to identify what works. And once you're able to identify what works, you want to always incorporate that. You can bring your other stuff in, but you always want to incorporate what works, because it works. And you are, or should be, result driven. You should be working toward results in life. And not accolades, but results, right? There's a difference. But sometimes they go hand in hand. So you have to become bigger than the applause, so to speak. But one of the things I'm really wanting to introduce to you and want you to get comfortable with is that if you're watching me for the first time, that over this series of videos or over this process, I'm going to be introducing you to products. I'm going to be introducing you to people. I'm going to be creating my own products, and I'm going to be sharing those with you. You will have a decision at that time. That decision will be whether to purchase, whether not to purchase, or whether just to continue doing what you're doing. Either one of those I'm totally fine with, because what I want you to do is realize that you could be doing the same thing, talking about what you do, talking about what you know. And when you do that, as you do it, you get better at doing it. You get real good, you get comfortable. Because see, that's what's one of the drawbacks that causes people to procrastinate, is they're not comfortable doing what they do. And if you're not comfortable, and I mean really comfortable, not just like, woo, it makes me sweat every time I get in front of that camera, or I get really, really nervous every time I do this or I do that. You have to get past that. And you can't get past that until you get comfortable with it. You have to continue to do that repetitiously. I like that word. Over and over. You have to keep doing it. And if you do that, the reward is that you get better. If you stop, the punishment is you get worse. Because in your mind, you'll look at that as an incomplete. You didn't finish that. The last time you said you were going to work on getting good at that, you didn't do that. You stopped. Why'd you stop? Stopping. Okay, you have to stop doing that, because wherever you're trying to go doesn't incorporate stops. Stops are deal breakers, right? Because it does more than just shut you down temporarily. It psychologically blocks you from doing it again. Right? It makes you think, well, I didn't do it last time, or I didn't like it the last time. I won't like it this time either, so I'm not going to even do it. That's not going to cut it. You got to get better. You got to get better. You got to be better than that. You got to have more integrity in what you do, because the reason you have to do that on that level is because imagine if you had a business already up and running and making, let's say, for conversation purposes, we'll say you're making $100,000 a year. You can't have that mentality and maintain that business successfully. You can't have that. I'm going to stop, but I get tired, or because I don't like it. No, you can't do that. You have to be someone who is not going to stop, because people around you are watching. They're watching. I know you don't believe me, but they are. They are watching you, and they are taking their instructions from the way you lead. If you're a leader, right? Now, if you're not a leader, you're watching others, which is not a bad thing, because in order for you to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower, in my opinion, which is why I'm a good follower. I follow the people that I follow specifically to get the result that I know that they can deliver. And once I get that result, though, I'll go to someone else that can give me something else that I want. Because see, once I get that result, what I do is first of all, I don't even want to learn from you unless I'm going to incorporate that in my system, because it's time consuming to gain that knowledge, right? It just takes too much of your time. So unless I'm interested really in applying that to my system, I'll listen to a seminar, I'll watch an audio or video about it, but I'm not going to be thinking about bringing it into my system, right? So I'm specific about how to grow my system, and I would want you to be specific about how to grow yours as well. But you have to. Everything's not for everybody, and you can't do everything. That's not the way it works. There's not enough time. Plus, you don't have a desire for it, right? You want to do things that you enjoy. Do things that brings you joy. Do things that, hey, if I feel like doing it today, I'll do it. If I don't have to, because the system will work for you. The system, you have a system in place. And once you get that system in place, it's not like you're doing the work. You are the CEO. You are monitoring the system. You are making certain that everything goes correctly. And as soon as there's a glitch of any type, you are on it. You address it. Not me, not the man down the street. You. You have to do that. And once you're able to do that, then you change the whole dynamics because the system will keep running, It'll keep running. You just make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, right? Now, again, before I leave, I'm going to be making quite a few videos this year, and I'm going to be changing the backgrounds. I'm going to be changing the sets because I like to do that. I like to come at you from a different angle, if you will, because we receive things differently. One of the things I know is one of the things that I like, and I believe that I have an eye for, I'm not sure, but I really think I have an eye for, is decorating. I really believe that I really can see, I like that, and other people like that. You know, I think that should be there instead of there. I think I have that eye. And from time to time, I'm going to be introducing you to maybe, you know, some things that I've done or things that I will be doing that are in line with that. And, you know, just letting you see the visual, maybe taking a picture and saying, what do you think about this? Is this a good idea or is that a good idea? And then, you know, you don't know where that will go, right? You don't know where that will take me. But I know I like doing that. So that's the type of thing I'm saying to you that you can do as well. See, that doesn't exist right now. But it could generate thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps millions of dollars one day. Because once I bring it into existence, then it has an opportunity to grow. If I nurture it, monitor it, you know, and, you know, feed it, it has the opportunity to grow. And all that would come from an idea, from a thought that I had, right? And when I thought the thought, I put action to the thought. And when you put action to the thought, things can happen. You never know. Things can happen really, really quickly, right? Especially if you have everything else in order that it takes. Because we're actually in the what's called the distribution business online. When I distribute information and distribute products to you guys that you have an option to buy, that's generating revenue for me. So when I send those out to you, some of you are going to buy. Some of you are going to really like what it does because these are tried and tested systems that work, right? And as you get those, it'll move the needle in what you're doing. You want to go from A to C. You're trying to get to F. If this can get you to C, and it only costs you $5, $10, $100, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you want to waste a couple more years down the road trying to get to C, making the mistakes and the errors and this and that, when you can just spend $70 and get that done and move to the next thing, right? So you have to understand it's more about your integrity, about the way you feel about you. Do you feel that you are worth it? Because see, what you do, it's kind of like planting a seed. When you plant that seed, you can look at that $70 or $100 as seed money. It's not going to pay off today, but it will pay off later. It will harvest. And when it's harvest time, oh, wow, that's $70 that you spent to get that information to add to your system may generate hundreds of thousands of dollars. $70. I've seen it happen a lot of times. And you know, on the internet, that money is being made in astronomical numbers. And it doesn't really take that much for you. I know it doesn't. I've heard you say it. It doesn't really take that much money for me. I've heard you say it. I was listening. But if you were able to generate that money with something you like to do at your pace, on your terms, if you will, why wouldn't you consider doing that? Just because you don't really know the internet right now. Internet is really not difficult at all. It's really, really simple. And you probably know it well enough to do whatever needs to be done right now. Probably do. But if you don't, there's people like me who can help you, right? We can help you get to where you need to go. But you have to get out of that mindset that you can't do it, or you're too old, or you didn't make good grades in school and that was 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, right? Everybody didn't make good grades, but this internet thing doesn't require you to be a genius. It just requires you to be able to follow some instructions and put action to those instructions, and then you can get the results that everyone else gets. You really can. And I'm going to help you this year. Coming in 2018, if you are serious about doing something different in your life, and I only want 1 year of your time, just 1 year. Just follow what I do for 1 year. And at the end of that year, just pay attention to where you are at the beginning of the year versus where you are at the end. And it's not going to cost you a dime. It's not going to cost you any money. $0. I'm not going to charge you any money. The only thing I'm going to require of you is your time. That's why I'm not going to make long videos. I'm not going to make 30 or 40 minute videos. I'm not going to make 45-minute videos. I'm going to make videos that are short, informative, and kind of keep you in line with what's going on in the internet world. Because once you're able to kind of like take a bite of it, it will kind of pull you in, because you can really do a lot of things. It'll open your mind. It'll allow your creative juices to begin to flow. And once that happens, woo, you just never know. Especially once you're able to put action to that thought, that creative stuff that's coming up in your life, and you start to feel a certain way. Wow, man, and once you start to accomplish something, don't let you get one thing under your belt, because it can move the needle, right? It's like I always say, it's like people who smoke cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes for 10, 15, 20 years, and some way, somehow you were able to stop smoking cigarettes, so a lot of times people become the biggest advocate for not smoking, right? They tell everyone, you shouldn't be smoking, you shouldn't be doing this, but they smoke for 30, 40 years. They've been reborn, right? They see things totally different now. Now just imagine if you never smoked. That person wouldn't irritate you so much because you never smoked. But you can do what we do. This can be what you do, especially if you think that, I can do better than that guy. Hey, I sure look better on camera than he does. You may, hey, but that's not what generates the money, is it? Your looks or my looks. Just kidding. No, but seriously, continue to watch these videos and share these videos, like these videos with somebody. Talk about it. Tell somebody, I know this guy named Larry James. Wow, he is really like me. He thinks like I think. You never know. I may be just like you. I was just like you. I wanted to do what I'm doing right now. This is something I wanted to do. This is something I look very seriously at being able to spend the rest of my life doing. Because there's levels. You can scale this. I can get much better at this. I can get I can bring so much value to people who look just like myself. And I can do it at home. I don't have to go to events. I don't have to go to seminars. I do that, but that's because I like being around people sometimes. Sometimes I just want to be reclusive. It's kind of, like I told you, I'm somewhat of an introvert. That's why it wouldn't be good for me to be a door-to-door salesman. Although I've done that, I didn't like it. But I was good at it. Now, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? I was real good at it. Maybe it was the look that I had on my face, like I didn't really like doing this. But I was good at it. I made the most money during that time I was doing it, and I didn't pay attention to that for whatever reason, but it didn't really sit well with my spirit. My spirit is more of a giving nature. I'd rather share information with you and you make a decision. You make an adult decision as to whether or not that would work for you, right? Because everything's not for everybody. I don't try to push entrepreneurship on everyone. I just try to give you the opportunity to experience from an earshot what it's like. And then you make the decision. After that, hey, I'm interested in helping the people who are interested in being helped, right? Or they may want to do that, or they may want to try it, or they may be at the point in life where I have nothing else to gain or have nothing else to lose, right? Why not? Either way, I can help and I will help. My name is Larry James. My company is SpeakWithLarry.com.